I struggled, but so did my plants. At some point it hit 46 degrees Celsius. It was the hottest it's ever been in London, at least since I lived there. It hit temperatures to 35 degrees outside, and since I have a west-facing window front which I cannot open, at one point it was 46 degrees Celsius in my living room. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a UK houseplant creator with over 200 houseplants in my one-bedroom flat in London. And this week we are going to rescue lots of my crispy sunburned plants which got scorched by the sun during the UK heatwave. While I'm trying to rescue them, I'm going to go over what I would do differently in a heatwave. For my defense, I was not at home all of the whole time, so by the time I came back from Scotland, the damage was done. I didn't put the plants up too, so they got scorched, especially this one. It lost already 3 leaves. We're probably going to cut this one off. So, and I'm thinking we're going to start from the worst to the best, and definitely the completely, it's dead. It's my red tail cactus. There's no more green. There's no more green. It is just crispy. I don't know. I actually watered this one before I left, so I don't know what happened and why. But here you can see it's completely crispy, and oh my god, I'm really sad about that. But it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing. The damage been done. We cannot fix it. Of course, the strip's been thriving too because of the heat, and I found a few adult strips, and I did another round of the spray and shower off. So I think I need to do like 2 or 3 more rounds. But it happens that I'm going on holiday next week, so I have a lot of plant care to do before I leave. Next one, which is also a goner, is my Begonia Rex. It is, yeah, can you hear it? Completely scorched. I don't think I can save it as well, so that's going to be a free nursery pot. Well, not free, but I just cannot believe it. This house is an absolute hellfire. If you see my windows, let me just change the camera. These are my windows. I cannot open it. Obviously I put the sheer curtain over now, but it wasn't when I was on holiday because I didn't thought it's going to be 35 degrees. I don't remember getting so hot ever in the UK. Like, we do have a few heat waves, but this was bad. I don't have air conditioning either, and there's no point for me putting on or turning on a fan because I literally live in an air fryer. If I would put it on, I just have hot air blowing into my face. To cool myself down, I actually got the big Lechuza self-watering pot, and I put water in it, and I just stuck my feet in it all day with some ice. But as soon as I got home, I ended up putting the curtains up, and when it was the really hot day, and then I put a dark bed sheet and I just pinned it to my curtain so it's a bit darker, and it keeps the sun out a little bit more. Yeah, now it's cooled down a little bit. I think outside, let me just check. Outside it's 22 degrees Celsius right now, and there's no sun, it's quite cloudy. And inside we have 28 degrees Celsius. Of course, this one, my beautiful Splendid, was right next to the window, and it dried out so fast. I rehydrated it now a little bit. I obviously put all my plants further away from the windows. They're just like shuffled around my living room in random places, just to help them stay away from the direct west sun during summer. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to cut this one off, and I'm thinking maybe I just do a chop and extend with the moss pole because it's quite tall and flimsy, so this one keeps toppling over too. This, there, and I'm just going to it's not going to make a return into green, so all the yellow leaves I'm just going to cut off. I'm sure it will recover. It doesn't have strips yet, like touch wood, right? I couldn't see any thrips. I found a few thrips on my syngoniums this morning and I sprayed them off again, and I found one which I squished with my finger on my red moon, which I have to double check this one. I didn't check it because I could not move. I just escaped the flat and was sitting in the beer garden with my laptop in the shade. Some of the other crispy ones, of course, I have some propagations. They're going to be fine. They're going to regrow. This was my Raphidophora something. It starts growing from the new knot, like, I don't know if you can see, like around here already. So I don't even worry about this top bit to be scorched. And so yeah, definitely one of my top tips during a heat wave is that you move your plants away from the window and, you know, put up a curtain. I normally don't have curtains, so because we don't get really a lot of sunlight in the UK, so I want them to get as much natural sunlight as possible. But of course, if there is a heat wave, you have to, it's a bit too much for them. They're not used to it as well. It's sadly not a tropical country. It's a very cloudy and depressing one. But yeah, so I think those ones were my worst plants. So it's not too bad. It's all, you know, most of them are savable. Those cactus and the begonia definitely not. But some of them actually really thrived during the heat wave. For example, look at my beautiful variegated cactus. I think it's the Christmas cactus. Those are just the 2 leaves, and you know, which has grown, and those ones super variegated, which grown only in this week. So I'm super excited. I might actually chop one off soon and trying to propagate it and bulk the whole thing out. It is in full semi-hydro without self-watering because it's a cactus. But yeah, this one really liked the heat, and it's still next to the window. It's still next to the window, behind the curtain obviously. But yeah, this one did really well. But yeah, going back to the Splendid quickly, I think I'm going to give it a really good water, or even just put it in the shower and rehydrate the moss, because all of the moss is dried out, of course. It's happening too fast. And then I will chop and extend it right here. I probably do that already. I cut it off. So here here's a new moss pole, you can see, stacked on top. So I'm probably going to, yeah, cut it right here. Let it callus over for a bit. Oh my god. I have no energy in my hand. Come on. There. Stay. So you can see I just cut it and we let it callus over, and then tonight I'm going to give it a really good soak, and tomorrow I will separate it. Another one which really struggled was one of my variegated anthurium seeds. I'll come closer so you can see it. Can you see it there? The whole new leaf burned off just in the heat. It's just melted off. However, there is a new leaf growing. so I won't touch it. I won't touch it. I'm not giving up on it yet. That was the variegated Ace of Spades. So, well, I couldn't have known that. The other seed, however, is doing fine. Actually, let me show you. The other seed, however, we have 2 leaves now, which is super nice. Look at this. No variegation yet, but we're not giving up hope, right? I'm sure it will recover. It's just 1 leaf. The roots seem to be fine. Something is growing, so we're not giving up hope. It's just going back into the IKEA cabinet, and we'll just wait. We wait it out. We be patient and hoping it's not getting this hot anymore. Speaking of IKEA cabinets, during hot weather I completely turn off my grow lights. Grow lights give more heat, like give away more heat, because, well, the grow lights heat up. So, and it's probably too bright in my house anyway, so when it's too hot, I just pull the plug. I keep the fan on inside, give air circulation, but all the grow lights are off. I turned it on now after 5 days, just like for a few hours, and then I will turn it off again. Of course, most of my anthurium leaves are so super crispy now. This one is my Varroquianum crystallinum, and you know, I keep watering her twice a day. I try to keep the moss here wet, and as you see, it's going to grow a new leaf, but it couldn't unfurl in this heat and the humidity, so I had to help it, and it got damaged. It will be fine. It's not going to be the prettiest leaf, but the plant isn't gone yet. Most of my velvet anthuriums, actually, which been outside of the cabinet, they look like this. It's nothing I can change until I buy a humidifier, which I probably will at some point. I mentioned we are in the process of buying a flat in London, not renting anymore, and as soon as we did and moved, and hopefully we get it, wish me luck. Yeah, it's very exciting times, and yeah, as soon as I have no furniture, all of the furniture comes normally in the flats when you rent them with, so we have to buy everything, so that's priority before I buy my humidifier. And I hope that flat is not as dry as this one. I mean, at the moment it's okay, it's 39%, which is not great. It's not ideal at all, but compared to, you know, the 19% I have here, it's pretty okay. Another one which I'm so sad about is my variegated, oh my god, it's so big. My variegated plumanii got a bit burnt. This one is one of the oldest leaves, so I don't worry about that. But you know, all the leaves are super yellow now from the edges. Even this is the newest leaf. It looks fine. So what happened with this one is that the water in the water reservoir got way too hot and it burned the roots. So that's some tip for semi-hydro. Don't keep your water reservoir too full, especially if their roots already grown into the water. It's yeah, that's my mistake. You can see, that's what I mean. All the roots are already grown, and lots of them, they've just been melted away in the water reservoir because the water was getting heated up too much. So basically the roots been cooked. I mean, there's not much. I'm probably going to take it out and, you know, just leave. Bye. And yeah, let's take her out. I'm probably going to put her back into the same pot and take a cutting off the oldest leaf because it's rooted already. And then I'm just going to put it a bit back so this leaf can unfurl, the new leaf can unfurl. And then hopefully she's going to get a beautiful big pot as soon as we moved. I'm going to take her out. Oh, those roots. No, I'm so sad about that. The water in the reservoir we're obviously going to get rid of. And the first thing is we're just going to dump all the substrate into a container. This is going to be difficult to get her out, huh? Oh, let's see. I'm just going to pull as much as I can. Let's cut off all the yucky roots so we don't have to pull them out. Oh, I'm so sad. She's the queen, isn't she? This one just pulled off by itself. You can see it's black. There we are. So that's how it looks like. Actually has a pretty good root system. There are some healthy roots. There are a lot of not so healthy roots. So this, you can see the color of this root, dark, and this, that's dead. We can cut it off compared to this colored root. It's nice and, you know, yellow, maybe a bit pinkish, light beige green color. That's a healthy root. And we're going to cut off all the darker ones, which are either dried out or burned. I don't want to take off too much to not stress her too much. The heat is already stressing her enough. Right, I think that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I will give this pot a nice rinse and I'll be back. So I'm back and I just gave the pot a quick rinse. So we have the strings, we're going to feed them through. Again, this, and just put it back in. As a substrate, I'm going to use some lechuza pon. But first, we're going to cut her back, which is scary. But that means I have more cuttings to share with my friends. I'm just using a knife. I'll cut it back right here. Here, yes. Just cut it. So we cut it, and now we very gently separate the roots. Oh no, I'm sure the new leaf gets some damage. So those are the cuttings, and I'm going to make another cutting here. Right here. This one we put. I have this massive bag of lechuza pon. So, because I think I'm going to put her up in a full new substrate. So this is not many leaves, this is not many roots for that. So I'm trying to put those little roots. I'm trying to put up the plant so that those little roots are touching the pon. So they're going to grow into the pon and, well, become proper roots, not those little dry aerial ones. You can see the substrate here. And I'm going to fill. I think I do 2 cups. Like this. And then we're going to add the plant and just going to, guess who has space to grow again? I hope it's stable enough to stay in the pot though. let me show you what I did. Is that not a cowboy way to do it? Okay. I velcroed it all around it. I velcroed her tight, and then put some chopstick just to push her down more so the roots will touch the pond, and then it's growing new aerial roots. And now she's going to be back in there and has a little bit more space to grow. And hopefully this buys me a few weeks until we hopefully moved. With this one, those ones, because this leaf is yellow, it's going to get a chop. I don't want that. I will spray her very well. Okay, wait. Chop here. There we are. So I just peeled away, and that's where you can see the node right here. This bit is the node where the new plant will grow. And then I will put it into my propagation box. There is all kinds of stuff in there. I am literally chucking all my wet sticks in there. And see what we have. Ooh, this is a beautiful pipers. Sylvanicum aurea. Beautiful. Got a few cuttings of this in there. I got some variegated monsteras. Lots of syngoniums. So we're just going to add her in there. So I have another wet stick already in there, which is growing at the moment, a new leaf. Yay! And so this one is back in there, and we close it and we forget about it. That's how I do it with my wet sticks. And well, yeah, I normally bring it to another plant swaps, or I'm going to sell them or give them to friends. The next one is the Anthurium pediphylliflorum. Yeah, which the moss got completely dried out. It has no strips, but I don't think that leaf will recover. So I'm going to cut it off. There we are. Go on. I don't cut off the stem because there is a new leaf growing, so that should be fine. And yeah, keep a close eye on her. Next up is watering. So I water my plants early morning and late evening. I try not to water them during the day because of the heat. I normally water them when I get up, which is at 4 a.m. in the morning. I know that's crazy, but I'm a pastry chef in real life, so this is the time I'm getting up and get ready to work. And then, or you're going to water them in the evening, but I assume that you need to water or rehydrate your moss pole twice a day in that heat. Another important thing, or something you should be aware of in this heat, is in which colored pots your plants are. I know that seems a weird one, again, it's like the vinegar, but imagine that if the sun would hit a darker color pot, the soil is going to heat up inside because it traps the heat. It's similar with a car. A black car is heating up in the sun a lot faster, a lot hotter, a lot quicker comparison to a white colored car. For me it's quite important. I don't know why nobody talks about this, but you know, of course it's not if you have them in a decorative pot in there, so it doesn't matter. But if you have them just in like nursery pots, I would say the check on them if they are black colored or dark gray or anything darker colored compared to a white or a terracotta colored pot. In my brain it makes sense. I don't know about you guys. I really want to proper test that with a probe and then probe everything when it gets so hot again. Just like put a plain pot on soil with any plant in it and see how hot the soil actually gets if you leave it in the sun. That's of course as well for outside plants. Just put them in the shade, put them further away, and you might need to water them more often if they're in darker pots. To be fair, most of my plants did amazingly considering of having it 46 degrees Celsius for a certain amount of time, which is 104 Fahrenheit if I'm not wrong. But the most exciting thing which I saw in my little greenhouse in the greenhouse, my puppy is unfurled its first leaf. I didn't even see it because I don't look in the greenhouse every day, and normally they're so temperamental, and I think that's the original puppy, so not any other version. Oh my god, yay! So I keep it now away a little bit from the window, so I hope that this new leaf is not burning off. Yeah, let's hopefully I can grow it nice and big. We all know that I love my anthuriums, and yeah, considering everything, they did pretty well. But yeah, the most tips I should say is like just keep them watering without over watering them. Moss poles you probably have to top up twice a day. If you have plants in pond and you know when the roots are growing towards the water and they have reached the water, repot them or take out the water and just manually water them, because as the water gets hotter it will cook your roots. We saw that on my Plumania, my variegated one. Yeah. Other than that, I'm really happy with what, like, yes, we have casualties, it's a lot of crispy things. I have one cactus which died and one begonia which died, but considering they're all doing very well. And one thing I want to show you, one of my plants which got scorched off is my Carbeth plants. Yeah, you know, she, poor baby, did so well. But let's just quickly cut off all the scorch bit, because, well, it's not coming back obviously. Yeah, my ping is doing okay, not looking the greatest, but it's doing okay. So what I'm just everything, all the bits which start to darken, I will start cutting away, and then hopefully it's going to regrow very pretty. Yeah, don't be afraid to leave your plants a few days like out of the sun as well if it's that hot. I know they won't be thriving if you do that, but it's better for them than being completely burned off, which I did with oh, it has thrips. There's a thrip. No. My carnivore plant, you're supposed to eat them. That's sad. I hope it's just one though. Let's see. This fly is hanging on to its dear life. This is literally, yeah, because they were 1 hour in the heat, in the direct afternoon sun, west facing window, which, that's what I cut off, quite a bit I cut off. How much is too much direct sunlight? I can answer that question very well. So, a bit of a backstory. I opened my blinds 2 days ago, overnight, and messaged my other half at 7 a.m. in the morning before you go to work, because you know I leave by 4:30 in the morning. Close the blinds so the flat won't heat up. Guess what he did? He didn't. Yes, he didn't. And they've been roughly in 1 hour of direct sunlight, and can you see that damage? Can you see that? Those are all goners. Gone. All 3 of them. So I wouldn't recommend any afternoon direct sun during a heat wave or like in the middle of summer. I think that if they're like bright loving plants, they will tolerate a little bit of morning direct sun, but be careful if this plant is variegated or crisp up all your variegated parts of the leaf. There we are. They're not going to look. 1 hour. So yeah, those are all crispy. This is 1 hour of direct sun and the heat exposure. I think it's more about the heat. You know, the medium, potting medium, wherever it's moss, soil, pond, is getting too hot or drying too quickly. That's the main reason your plants are not doing well. They're getting too sun stressed. Believe it or not, that happened here at my non-variegated Christmas cactus. Can you see how this is all purple? I mean, yeah, that looks super pretty. Like, look how deep purple. This way. Look how deep purple this is. It looks super pretty, but it's not good. It's not good for your plant. You can see as well they are super wrinkly. It's set in pond as well, and I'm going to fill up the water reservoir because now they are super thirsty. Of course, there's not much I can change right now. I'm doing the best with what I have. Hopefully they're going to be thriving soon again. I mean, let's see where we end up in a few weeks time or a few months time. So you know, I have those little IKEA Akaba greenhouses, and they obviously in front of the window because it looks pretty. Where I normally have my begonias in. Note to myself, don't put begonias in bright light. You can hear it. It's not dead, just the leaves are crispy. It has self-watering, so as well. This is a begonia pink spot. Absolutely gorgeous. I get this one from my friend Lydia. Let's just cut her back. Let's start over. It's okay. It's okay to start over your plants, you know. We are all doing the best what we can with what we have. So I'm here to remind you, don't feel bad if something doesn't work out, if you didn't do it. You know, life is too short. We all love our plants, but you know, you can't change it sometimes. It just happens. It just happens. And this is the Begonia Black Magic. They are looking like this. I am pretty sure they're going to bounce back. They always do normally. So don't be afraid if they're completely crisp and the main stem is not dried out. Look at this. What is this? Like, it's like raining, the whole leaves. This wasn't a heat wave. It came in such a bad state. Obviously I couldn't say anything because they did refund me and I technically got this plant for free, but Oh my god, the struggle I had with them. I would not recommend buying from them. Sorry, Carbeth Plants, but that was very disappointing. This looks very sad. So let's chop it up and we're going to root it. And we're going to get rid of all of the shitty bits. So you see all of the that even like goes off without it. So let's cut it all, the dead leaves off, and then we see what we can propagate. But you see how wrinkly that is? This is how it arrived. It was so dehydrated. I don't know what happened because it did come when they shipped it the next day. So I assume it's just being shipped in a very, very bad state. They are charging for this plant £29. So I would have expected a better quality. Like, look at that. I'm sure we can save some cuttings, but I have to start over, and that was not the point of buying a full plant for any price. Otherwise I just would have gotten cuttings, right? So this is how it looks like now. There is actually, you know, quite a good chunk away. I'm going to try to propagate as much as I can, and we're starting over. Unwillingly, but we're starting over. So I filled a Alio decorative pot with just some plain tap water, and we're going to chop away all the way because I want a nice full and bushy plant, hopefully one day, and then we separate them. And we remove the first few bottom leaves because that's where the new roots are coming from, and put it in the water. This cutie. Yeah, I was very disappointed with that seller, and you know, it's not even that something came in like a bad state. It was like zero customer service, zero communication, and I'm like, why do you even bother selling online if your customer service is so bad? And then the excuse like, oh, we have a busy period with an automated message. I'm like, well, that's not good enough. Yeah, we're thinking maybe I should start a series to randomly buy plants from random shops and then just see how that went. Let me know in the comments if you want that. So this is how it looks like now. I'm going to leave it somewhere, and yeah, hopefully it will grow nicely. This is all for my top tips about what to do if you have a very hot climate or during a heat wave with your plants. Yeah, let me know if you have any other tips. Obviously, if you can ventilate your space, definitely do it. I sadly cannot, hence it was more of the heat issue of ridiculous, like this flat is another level. Yeah, I hope I could give you some good tips, and let me know if you have any other tips, or what do you do? What do you do to help your plant during the heat waves? And how do you cool yourself down? Because I have my massive lechuza pot where I just put my feet in with cold water because that's everything I can do. Thank you so much for watching. Next week I will be on holiday, so let's hope I have somebody which is going to look after my plants this time, because I will be away for 5 days to do another plant swap up in Glasgow. So I will be going up again to Scotland, and I will show you next week what I do to holiday prep my plants. So if you have any questions about holiday prepping your plants or the heat wave, and just let me know down in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I really would appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you like to follow my weird little YouTube journey, what I'm on to, please subscribe. I appreciate every single one of you, and I love to have conversations with you down in the comment section. And yeah, I see you at the next one. Bye!